in this lesson, we'll add some additional geometry to fill out our scene. So now that we've got kind of our character built out, let's go ahead and drop in some other objects. And so again, you can create your own if you want to, but this is couch_base.ma in your project files in the Maya scenes folder. And we've got a couple of sections of couch cushion, and then the back of the couch, and then kind of a little tag. And so the idea is that we'll kind of be up in here somewhere with this. All right, so we've got a few different objects. Now, there are different ways that we could send this over. Again, we could export this, and I have exported it out as a .fbx file, so you could go into Mudbox and import that in. We could also select all these objects if you're working with Maya, and go to File, Send to Mudbox, and we can add to the current scene. So that would allow us to jump over here into Mudbox, oops, and we can see that that geometry now has been added. You can see that it comes in with the perspective camera once again, so I can go ahead and get out of there. And then it also comes in with some Lambert materials. You can see that kind of gray silvery look to it. And again, also you could come in here under a file, import, and you could import that FBX in the same way. All right, we can start to name things. So we can call this the couch back, and then this one would be something like cushion A and then cushion B. And I've gone ahead and named the little creature, and I just called him Imp, but you can call him whatever you like. And let's select the tag, rename this, and we'll call it tag. All right, so that's kind of our set. We also have a few more things that we want to create. I want to add some teeth to this guy. And I also want to add the prop that he's going to be holding, which is going to be a US penny. And so we'll go ahead and jump back into Maya. And let's open up this penny base. And you can see it's just kind of a disk that we have here. So I can actually send this over. So we'll go ahead and send it to Mudbox, and we'll add to the current scene. So now in Mudbox, we'll have a penny loaded up. We can rename this, so we'll rename it. And we can move it around. And we don't really need it right now because we haven't posed up anything, but we can detail it here in the future. We just want to kind of get everything all together in one scene. Now, as far as the teeth goes, we can create those very easily by, just go to a new scene here. And I'm just going to go ahead and create a polygon primitive, and we can do a cone. Let's do actually a cylinder. And again, if you're not using Maya, if you don't have Maya, then you can just grab this from your project files. But I'm going to go ahead and just create it here. So we just create kind of a cone shape. And I'll grab the top and kind of squeeze it in a little bit, depending on what kind of teeth you want to give this guy. The shaping I'm not really be too concerned about. I just want to get the topology in here. And I can go in here and select kind of every other line. Delete that. So there's kind of quads on the end. Let's go ahead and get rid of the faces at the bottom. And then we'll take this piece of geometry, and let's go ahead and send that over to Mudbox as well. And we'll add to the current scene just as we did with the other pieces. So we'll call this tooth. Okay, and I didn't really think too much about the scale of the tooth. So you can see that it's pretty small here, but I mean, it is a tooth, so we can scale it up a little bit. If you want to scale it up in Maya before you bring it over, you can. Or we can come in here and make it a little bit bigger. All right, so now that we've got all of our geometry in our scene, we can save this and begin working on each of these separately until we kind of get everything combined into one cohesive whole. So the next thing we'll do is go ahead and place the tooth and start to duplicate them across our model before we move on to detailing the set pieces. So we'll go ahead and do that next.